Today, this video is about showing you guys around HKU and also to show you guys HKU Hall. I asked some of my friends' help and also seniors to tell you guys more about hall life and also ask them to give us a hall tour. With that said, let's go! Let's go! Oh. So we are going to here.
We're going to HKU first.
I mean this direction. So right now we are here and we need to go all the way here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stations. So one good thing about even though it's 9 stations, right? You can see just like 3 minutes interval. But then today you can see it's like T1 signal. And look at how hot it is. 31 degrees Celsius, bro. Welcome to Hong Kong in summer.
请小心列车与月台之间的空隙。Please mind the gap.
We are standing in front of Simon KYB, which is short form for Sky. And this is one of the closest hall that is near campus, in campus. It's literally in campus. And later on, one of our friends will be showing us around the hall. So stay tuned for that.
So Jiahong, what is the cube root of 32?
Cube root of 32. Cube root of 32 is 4. 4. Cube root is 2, right? It's 3.
3.
It's 4, right? Or it's 2?
No, it's not perfect.
Not perfect.
3 point something now.
Just like my CGPA.
Not every hall has this, but in this hall, every floor has their own air conditioning pop-up kiosk. Room is 706, and then we can check the balance and then reload with your balatong here.
This is the common area.
What is this door?
This door was installed because maybe at night there'll be a lot of people making noise in the common area, but people want to sleep in these rooms, so they put these as a noise cancellation, noise insulation. So this is the pantry, and then I don't cook here at all, but for the people who do, you have plenty of fridges. Oh, this one's not so clean, but you have other options here. So because they take into account just how many people live in this hall and floor, plenty of places to sit at as well if you want to do hot pot with your friends. Unfortunately, we don't deal with fire. We only deal with electric stoves. Electric is an induction one, so make sure you bring the right pans and pots. This is my humble room.
A humble board.
This is the size of the room. There are no options for single rooms here in this hall, unless if you're a tutor. And you can only be a tutor if you're a PhD or a master's student. This one is called the A side. The one that's closer to the door is the A side. That's the B side, closer to the window. And then
Up there is also quite interesting.
yeah, it might not be the same in every hall, but yeah, I get to place my luggages there.
Cabinet.
Yeah, it's okay. So mine came with some hangers left by my old would have been roommate, but you should bring your own hangers. And then what else? There's a mirror for everyone here. This also came pre-built, pre-installed. Basically, I think there's plenty of storage in every one of these rooms here. So 3 cupboards. The depth of which is enough for like a few stacks of shirt. There's also a drawer here. And the table itself is quite wide. I'm not sure if it's the same in every hall. Oh, there's also additional storage here. A lot of electronics here. So 3 layers here. And then there's also some storage beneath your bed. So I don't think storage is going to be a problem, to be honest. It's all just full. And repeat that 3 times. So that's it for storage. And then I've heard that people say this view is the best view in this hall. I like to think so as well.
So what is the cube root of 32?
I see.
Well, the very humid and hot section section of this hall. So we have 4 laundry machines. 5. Oh, 5. I only use that one because it's a Japanese. Okay, and then each wash about $7. Should be different in every hall. Each wash is $7, 40 minutes, around this much load. Very economical, I think. And then these are the dryers. They are tumble dryers. 5 minutes of drying is $1. Yes, very economical.
Where do you pay?
Where do you pay?
You can hear. So if I were to use washer 1, then I would hit it once and then I'll tap my balatong.
That's another benefit of staying in hall, isn't it? The laundry is cheap.
Yeah, it's very, very cheap, very convenient as well because dryers don't come by easily, I think, when you're staying outside. So drying would be a problem. You gotta get your rack, the drying rack, and then space is a problem already in Hong Kong. You don't want to waste it for the drying rack. So this comes very convenient.
What is this? This is cool.
This is the top of this hall.
Do people come here often?
No, not really. Oh, I had a floor mate who showed me his drone. He was flying his drone here.
Oh hell
Like, across Hong Kong, and then he didn't let me control it, but I was just watching. One of these mountains is the famous Victoria. Where a lot of rich people, including Chan Yik-sun, live.
Jackson is Ethan Chang.
Oh.
This is where the warden lives. So each hall has its warden. And do you remember the size of a long wing? Yeah, just imagine we just came out from lift. What do you think this is supposed to be? The warden place is equivalent to the whole long wing. Hi everyone, I'm Darren Chang. I come from Seremban, studied A levels before I came here. Right now I study computer science and I minor in finance here.
Wait, where is Seremban?
Seremban is just a small town place in Negeri Sembilan,
Oh.
famed for its char siu bao and the old people there.
Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
So Darren, I have prepared some questions to ask you about hall life because I am not living in a hall, and I think the question that I would like to ask is not going to be very good for freshmen. That's why I put this on ChatGPT and generate some questions to ask. But fun fact, do you know that you cannot use ChatGPT in Hong Kong? That's why this video is sponsored by NordVPN. They're not sponsored. If you want to sponsor, please. I'm broke. So Darren, what made you decide to live in hall and why this hall specifically?
Chose to live in a hall because it made the most economic sense. You gotta pay around 2,200 per month HKD for this hall. And if I were to live outside, because it's on the island line, it's around 5K minimum, I think. So that's the main reason why I decided to live in a hall. Now, if I were to describe the strengths of this hall, right, it's the most convenient one in terms of its location. So it's right inside of campus. It's in the middle of campus. So when I have a 9:30 class, I can afford to wake up at like 9:35. It's okay because I can rush everywhere. It's that central in the university.
What are the benefits of living in hall?
I've been benefiting from this characteristic a lot. So the characteristic I'm talking about is that you get different roommates every single time, and it's not by choice. At least because I don't know anyone else in this hall who is Malaysian, so I was forced to live with some strangers who were randomly allocated to my room to be my roommate. And then so far they've all been mainlanders, but they've all been very, very excellent roommates. They're clean, they talk about their aspirations, their goals, their careers, and that just gives me a lot of insight into different fields in Hong Kong as well. So it's very helpful.
How would you describe your experience with your roommate?
Why is ChatGPT reading my mind right now? I've had different roommates almost every semester. I've been here for 4 semesters. I had the same roommate for year 1. He was the same engineering student. He took the same major as I did, and then so we did some homework and assignment together. It was very helpful. He's very clean. He cooks a lot. He stays in the room a lot, but it's okay because I don't cook.
so we don't fight for utensils and all that. In my second year, I had different roommates. They're all very kind. Like one of them is still on exchange right now, and because he had too many stuff to leave behind, he left me his monitor, and I've been using it since.
What kind of activities or events does your hall organize for the residents?
Frankly, I gotta say, unfortunately, as an international, it's very hard to fit into this particular hall. So this hall is actually quite segregated. So when we walked in, when we exited the lifts, if you turn left, you enter this we call the short wing, where it's almost entirely international students, and international includes mainland here. And if you went to the right, you would have gone into the long wing, where it's all local students. So they have this segregation because of some historical conflicts, I guess. But it's not something I would want to change actually, because it keeps the peace around here. You often see a lot of posters in the lifts, but they're only posted like 2 or 3 days in advance of the event, so I randomly get enough time to schedule my workflow to attend these. But they have maybe floor soup, so they have a hot pot or some stuff, so they cook for the whole floor, and then you just get to attend and eat some stuff. But they also hold some like cultural nights or drama nights at the upper ground 3 floor, but I've never attended them anyway. One thing that's compulsory for everyone to join will be the high table dinner, but that's in every hall. So
Can you briefly explain what is high table?
right, the high table dinner is sort of a custom in this university, I think. So once a year, at least for my hall, it's a once a year event. So everyone is required to dress in fully formal dressing, and then you'll be given a green cape or a green gown when you attend the dinner. And it's a $600 thing, you gotta pay for it. You have to attend it or else you'll be kicked out of the hall, because it's considered hall participation, unfortunately. So this high table dinner event is where you have fine dining with your hallmates, and then you listen to the warden give some speech. There will also be like award ceremonies.
Very nice.
One other criteria that would get you definitely kicked out would be if you had a GPA lesser than 2.0, a CGPA of lesser than 2.0. But it's a feat on its own. You probably wouldn't have to worry about it.
So how much is a CGPA?
No, that's not.
Are there any challenges you face while living in hall?
Okay, one thing would be, because in this hall you cannot get a single room. Here you're forced to have a roommate, so you gotta learn how to fit in and accommodate each other, and then you gotta learn how to communicate. Timing in terms of like using utensils, your cooking appliances, using the toilet. You might meet some conflict with some people as well, because everyone bathes at the same time probably, so it's gotta be patient sometimes.
How do you manage to balance your social life and academic responsibilities while living in hall?
Academic responsibilities. Okay, my social life in hall, I don't have one. My social life is mostly out of this hall, because I spend most of my time outside of this hall. So I take care of my academic responsibilities along with my social life, because I study with my cohorts, with my cohort mates, the same CS major people.
Would you recommend living in the hall?
Yes, definitely. For economic reasons, for experiential reasons, it forces you to meet new people. Because let's face it, when you first arrive here and you're not sure what to do, it's instinct for you to reach out for your kinsmen, your fellow Malaysians, and then you look for the same accommodation together and all that. Which is that there's nothing wrong about it. It's just I feel like because I've been forced to interact with a lot of mainland roommates and floor mates, they've taught me about their hometown, their political ideals, and it's an eye-opening experience. You get to meet a lot of new people outside of your degree, outside of your comfort zone.
Any words of advice that you want to give to our freshmen?
Apply for Simon K. No other Malaysians in this hall, I'm so lonely. Just kidding. So apply for whichever hall you want to. As for an actual piece of advice, Socializing is one thing. Don't plan your budgets too tightly. Like before you even come to Hong Kong, you would definitely surpass whatever you are planning right now. But it will all turn out okay. You will find part-time jobs, you will find like tutoring jobs or a research assistant or a teaching assistant job in the university. It's going to be okay. Money comes relatively easy as an undergraduate student. So don't have to worry too much about expenses if you are from a humble background. Just go for your dreams, just come here.
That's it. That's it. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, Jahong. Thank you, Jalik. And thank you. And thank you to NordVPN.
Thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring.
For our next station is Kennedy Town, where we will be visiting one of the residential colleges.
So here we are at the infamous slope. Wish me luck.
Welcome to Kennedy Town. There's buses. Welcome. Look at the slope. You are taking your luggage up this hill. Can you imagine how difficult it is? Look at. Oh my god, no.
It's getting slopey up.
Yes, sir. Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
This is indeed a slopey slope. As you can see, we have spotted a wild jiahong.
Alright.
There we go. The wall.
So welcome to Lap-Chee College, one of the residential colleges. She wants to know. Make sure you like and subscribe. Before 16 floor. Wow. 16 floor cube of 16. 4.
Cube, not square, man.
Square root of 16, sorry. Common area. So this is the common area. Wow. Look at the view. Look at the view.
Yours truly.
You know, like where I inspired this from. Oh, look at it, look at it. Are there more shots that I can take?
Fridge.
So all of this is the hallmates.
Yes,
This
from
from the hall. Wow.
Yeah, well, not many people cook, so it's quite empty compared to other
Let it
places.
go, let it
Very convenient. Huh? So yeah, so one of the benefits of staying in hall is we have this place where you can do laundry easily. It's just at the top of your hall, the top floor of your floor, which is this part. You just press, you put your shirt in, just pay in, and then you get your cut. How much it costs? For washing machine, it's $5 per wash, and then for the dryer, it's $2 per 10 minutes. It's like, you know, you play Hong Kong style, the cube. Oh, you have a tea room. Yeah, Chinese tea room. Wonderful. So today we are having an experiment, and this is our lab. Okay. You see, subject 1 is very performing now. Look at that. Look at that fine specimen. our proudest work. So this is a place where you guys have events. So Halloween now also here. Really sticky here. Panas here.
Memanas, panas memanas.
So this is where you I talk about aircon. Yes, pay in. How much? $10 per hour? No, it's like $10. It depends on how much you use. Like if you set the cooler to be higher, then you will use up faster. This one. This is my bed. It's up there. Yes. Can you first introduce yourself? Okay, so my name is Wong. I'm a year 2, upcoming year 3 civil engineering student from HKU. And then I'm from like Kajang. It's actually the border of Kajang, so usually I hang out close to around Cheras area. You guys are Kajang? Thumbs up. Yeah, Kajang. Kajang is famous for what? The what? The fish. Can you explain why this name? Oh, so this is 过三包水 in Chinese 过三包四. As a university student, so GPA, grade point average is really important. So we always hope that we get GPA higher than 3 because like in HKU the grade point system the highest is 4.3. So we hope that we get higher than 3 and explode 4. So it's like go higher than 4. So usually this is what we like do, 拜春 before we like the exam. We call it super pass. So we just do 回春 for this thing. And then I just place it here to wish myself good luck in exams. So, your CGPA right now is how much? Let's not talk about it. What made you decide to live in hall and why this hall specifically? I mean, as an international student, you come to a foreign place, of course you wouldn't know where to stay, and then like you hope you would be able to stay in like university's hall so that it's easier for you to apply and then get moved in at a certain date that you don't need to look for apartments outside. And then as for why I applied to this hall, so actually I did not really apply to this hall. I applied to some other halls because I was I did not know a lot of stuff, so I just applied randomly. And then because I got the hall offer quite late, so they assigned me to this hall. And then of course I'm okay with it. I mean, it's a hall, so why not? It's cheaper as well. What are the benefits of living in a hall? Benefits are okay. So like I mentioned just now, first of all, you get to stay close to the campus. Yeah, that thing. The hall fee is cheaper compared like staying outside. Compared to staying outside, it's cheaper. You get to make because you're staying around with other students from HKU as well. So you get to mingle around with students like international students, local students, mainland students, and then we hold a lot of events that you can take part in, and then you get to interact with them. Aside from joining events, I also sometimes hang out with some of my friends. Like I have friends at other floors, like let's say I'm in 16th floor, and then I have friends in like 11th floor, and I used to go 11th floor to hang out with my friends over there. Sometimes like during Friday night, you just have eat together, or sometimes drink a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, and then so just have fun. How would you describe your experience living with your roommate? My experience with my roommate is quite good. So I would say he's a good roommate, and then he's quite tidy, quite neat, quite clean. So there's not much problem with him. But of course, sometimes there are things that we need to discuss, like cleanliness or stuff, or like who is supposed to pay for the aircon and stuff. So these are like some of the things that we need to discuss. What kind of activities or events does your hall organize for residents? Actually a lot, because we have a lot of clubs. We have sports clubs, high table dinner committee, we have Lap-Chee, Ambassador, a lot, just to name a few. Like for me, I am actually part of some clubs. For example, I'm actually in the high table dinner committee. So high table dinner is actually one of the signature events that all the residents will join. You will need to be dressed in formal wear, and then you get to eat usually a 3-course or 4-course meal with your residents, and then you get to chit chat with them, get to know them more, and then usually we'll also invite guests. It could be someone well known,
Like last time we invited Professor Ian Holiday to Lap-Chee College, and then he will give speech to us, inspiring speech. Let's say you also get to talk to him if you get a chance, and then and then also you have performance and stuff. Usually every high table dinner will have like different theme to just to change things up, because usually for high table dinner, right, you usually have it for like once every 1 or 2 months. So like throughout the whole academic year, we'll like have like 4 or 5 high table dinners. So that's the signature event. So aside from high table dinner, of course, there's also like Halloween. We celebrate Halloween together. We celebrate Valentine's Day together, Christmas. So there are like certain events that all the residents can join.
Are there any challenges you face while living in hall?
Sometimes the washroom can be a little bit dirty sometimes. So it's okay. If there's like really serious problem, you can always report to your floor tutor. So every floor has a tutor. Any problem like hall related, you can just tell your floor tutor, and then they'll help you to solve the problem.
Next question. How do you manage to balance your social and academic responsibilities?
So of course, to balance, of course, you need good time management. So let's say I also have like a timetable and stuff to organize my time. So if I know that, let's say I have a meeting or stuff to do on Friday related to hall, then I'll make sure that I complete my assignments first. Then later on, it only comes to hanging out and socializing with friends and hallmates.
Would you recommend people live in hall?
Of course. Initially, when I came to Hong Kong, for me, I was just thinking, it's just a place for me to stay, a place where I can sleep. So, but after staying for a long time, I think it's not just that. It's just like when you stay longer, right, you get to know people around here, right? You actually feel like you are going home, not just like your apartment, your room. You're actually feeling like, when you go back home, you have someone to greet you, you know people over here, and feel heartwarming. And then at the same time, sometimes you feel, let's say you want to join certain sport club, example, and then maybe you say, I'm not as good, so maybe I can't really join like HKU clubs, sports club. Those hall sport club would be a place for you, because usually we're more accepting towards like new students, like residents who like to try new sports. So we welcome them, just to play together, have fun together. So it's a place that what you enjoy.
Any word of advice for our freshmen?
So I think because you guys are from Malaysia, you are come to a foreign place, of course you have a lot of doubts, a lot of problems, you don't know how to solve. So don't be afraid to ask. There's like professor, like when you are in hall, you have tutors, and then of course you have wonderful Malaysian seniors over here to help you. You see, wonderful me, the cameraman as well. So just don't be afraid to ask. Whether it's academic related, hall related, anything, you just ask. I think they'll be really glad to help you as well. So that, academic wise, you can go some bouncing. Yeah.
Alright. Hi Sean.
Hello.
Would you first like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Sean. I'm Malaysian. I'm a university student in HKU. In fact, I'm supposed to graduate next Friday. That's when the congregation is gonna happen. So I've been in HKU for 5 years, not 4. One of those years I spent it on a gap year, working somewhere else because I wanted to avoid learning university stuff during COVID. Online learning for me is a bad idea, which is why my university education got extended by 1 year relative to everyone else.
What do you major in?
So I studied in mechanical engineering, and I actually have a minor in computer science. Thank God I actually managed to finish that minor.
What was the most challenging aspect of being a university student, and how do you overcome it?
I think for everyone it's different. Some people find it very difficult to transition from learning in high school to a university, which you need to schedule your courses yourself. For me, I don't find that difficult at all, but instead, sometimes I wish that I have a larger social circle than I do now. To be honest, for me, coming to universities is an opportunity to make friends, to network, But I've done it to a certain degree, but I feel like I could have done more.
Do you participate in any extracurricular activities while you were in university?
Yeah, definitely. So for me, learning in classrooms is one thing. I did a lot of learning on my own, and I put it in very practical use. So for example, back in my year one, I actually participated in, I was actually part of the RoboMasters team HKU. So RoboMasters is like a competition where there's a university team that designs and builds their own robots for the competition. And competition is a little bit like playing a mobile game like Dota or League of Legends. But instead you have these physical robots that players, which is ourselves, the team members, would control the robots through a computer remotely. So I was in RoboMasters for 1 year and I got the opportunity to design the drone for the team, how to build it, had to learn everything from scratch. I felt like through that activity alone, it was teaching me a lot more than what university courses would have. So I was doing SolidWorks in year one. I was learning it from my seniors rather than from my course lecturer. SolidWorks as a course is actually only taught in year two for mechanical engineering major students. So I had the opportunity to really go in depth and practice and design a very complicated robot with hundreds, if not thousands of parts, rather than a simple course assignment, which to me at that point felt very boring.
What advice do you have for our incoming university students to succeed in their university?
Drawing from my experience, I suppose the most important skill to pick up as you enter university is the ability to adapt and adapt quickly. Especially coming to a foreign university, even though Hong Kong is relatively, maybe most of you are Chinese, so so culturally Hong Kong isn't that much different from the environment that most of the incoming students would grow up in. But even so, transitioning to university is also part of becoming an adult. Strictly speaking, becoming a young adult, and it's very different from being just a teenager. You're gonna have to start shouldering a lot more responsibilities, first for yourself, but also if you participate in any of these clubs, these activities, you're gonna shoulder a lot more responsibilities for your team members, for your clubmates, and all that. A lot of things need to be done on your own. You have to fight for your own rights, you have to fight for your own space, especially Hong Kong is very small. So being able to adapt to this would be very, very useful.
Then what was some of the biggest difference between high school and university?
So I think I mentioned this already, is that in high school, your class schedule is given to you, but in university, your class schedule is scheduled by yourself. So that means picking the right courses for the right semester, knowing how to plan your things out. So for example, for me, I actually wanted to do an exchange in a Japanese university. In fact, I wanted to go there for a year. Now, the problem with Japanese universities is that most of their engineering courses are actually taught in Japanese, and I would only be allowed to enroll in them if I had achieved Japanese language tests called JPLT, and I need to achieve the N1 level, which is the highest level for foreigners. So clearly I did not have that certification. So I was sort of prepared to the point where for a whole year during exchange, I would not be able to I would not be able to take any engineering courses, let alone transfer them back to HKU. So which means out of the 4 years of university education that I would have, one of those years, if I were to go to Japan for exchange, I would not be able to achieve any of my engineering courses, get any of my credits for engineering courses, which means the rest of the 3 years I would have to cram everything in, take extra courses, overload essentially, to be able to still graduate within 4 years. Otherwise I would have to take an extra semester. So I was actually prepared to do that, but that did not happen because COVID happened. I did manage to get accepted to one of these exchange programs to Tokyo University, but it had to be cancelled. So instead of doing this, because I still managed to cram a lot of my courses during my first year especially, I did overload a little bit, but that basically opened up the possibility for me to complete my computer science minor.
What was your biggest accomplishment during your university education?
Number one, I did not die. As a baseline, I think That's very commendable on my part. Number two, I think I did pretty well. Sadly, I didn't go back to visit my family that often, but I think that's just my problem. But I think in terms of my biggest accomplishment, as a funny joke, I still never read my university transcript. for all 4 years or 5 years of university education, I've not read my university transcript. I don't know my grades. I don't know what for each specific course what grade I got. So so basically every semester I would just ask my friends to check it for me just in case to see if I failed any of my courses. That's pretty much all I cared about. But also I had to maintain my grade above a certain level to keep my scholarship, so I still had that to worry about, but that was pretty easy to do. So so even till today, next Friday is my congregation, I don't know my grade. However, I do know what honors I managed to obtain.
Looking back on your university experience, what would you have done differently, if anything?
What did I brainstorm just now? Oh yes, I think it was this. I would have prayed a little bit harder for COVID not to happen because I really wanted to go on exchange to Japan. It's something that I've thought about even before entering HKU. Like, I wanted to go to Japan because I wanted to live there as a student, not as a tourist, not as like a working individual. I wanted to experience Japan from the eyes of a student, because being a student, you actually have a lot of perks. You're able to see different things, mingle with different people relative to, let's say, if you're not a student.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I got a joke. Welcome to HKU.